Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video I'll be teaching you how to draft this illusion neckline bustier with a Basque waistline. So this video will be in two parts. The first part will be the pattern drafting, that is how to draft the front bodies and also the back bodies, and the second part of this video will be the sewing, which will be in another video. So after I was done, this was what I achieved after I drafted and sewed this neckline. So if you're interested in how I was able to achieve this, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's continue with the video. Welcome guys. So I'm marking this half-inch line over here, which will serve as the base of my pattern. Just half-inch to serve as the base. Then after that, I will measure my under bust measurement, your shoulder to your under bust. Then you add half-inch to it, which will serve as the shoulder joining too. So that was what I did here. So the next thing I've done now is to mark my bust line and my armhole line. Those are the two lines at the middle. And what I'm just doing now is to draw my armhole, which most of you can do. So now at the bust line, I'll go down by 3/4 inches or half inches, depending on how busty you are. If you are very busty, you can even go down by 1 inch. But I'm going down by 3/4 inches, and I'll just draw a short line like this. Then at this point, I'll take my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. Then I'll connect the line from the under bust to the bust line. So after that, at this area here, I'm taking out 1¼ inches, and at this point I'm taking out half inches. Then I will connect this point. I'm connecting it down first. So this half-inch base will serve as my joining to the other bodies. So that's my under bust, my bust, and my shoulder. So now I'll just connect this area with my curve. Just connect it to that point there. Then I will connect this down here. So this is what I have. So now what we'll be doing now is our princess dart bustier, our princess dart. So we'll just be connecting this to the armhole. So you'll be connecting this. Then I'll be taking out like 1 inch at this area, at this upper part, and I'll be connecting it back to the second line over here. So this is what I'll be doing. This 1 inch will serve as the dart tightening at the armhole area. So now what I will do, I'm just trying to connect this line properly. I'm trying to connect it properly. Then the next thing I'll be doing now is to extend the line. I'll be extending the lower, this line, yeah. I'll be extending it because if I don't extend it, after sewing it will reduce. So I'll be extending it. Then the next thing I'll be doing is just to take my body measurement around this area. My bust measurement divided by 4. My sewing allowance, then whatever that I took out at that area. So now my waist measurement divided by 4. My dart that I took out there, I'll be adding it back. And then the sewing allowance. Then I'll just connect the line just like this. So this is what I have. Then the next thing I'll be doing is to redraw the armhole. So I'm extending the former armhole just like this before I will now redraw the new armhole I want. Though this armhole is not perfect yet. When I'm done sewing, I'll still trim it again, but I'm just trying to extend it. So that's what I did over there. The next thing I want to do now is to do my shoulder slope, which I'll measure 3 inches there, and I'll measure 1 inch down here. Then I'll connect it like this. So after the shoulder slope, what you will do now is to do your neckline. So the neckline I'll be using is 3/4 inches by 4 inches. After you've marked your point, you go ahead and connect your neckline. So after that, it's time to draw our illusion neckline. So what I'll be using as my guide will be the armhole. But before that, whatever I have here, I'm dividing it into two. Then from that point, I'll connect it to my armhole line. This length depends on how you want it. If you want it to be deeper, like that in the video is more deeper than this, but I don't want it to be this deep. That's why I didn't go down. So you can still go down to the bust area, or you can just leave it at the armhole area. So now the next thing I'll be doing is just to cut out my pattern. So before I cut out this pattern, I was having this idea of making it look like a corset kind of design at this area, so which I later did. I'm thinking of just connecting this point, then making it a pieces, then this part will be plain and the other part will be the lace as it was exactly in the video. So before I do that, let me just go ahead and cut out my pattern. So after I'm done cutting the pattern, I will go ahead and do what I want to do. So now this is it. So I'm measuring 1.5 inch at that area, which will serve as my guide, like that's the joining allowance. So now I'll place my French curve like this, just like you want to do your corset curve, just like a corset curve. So you just mark this to the armhole area. So that's just what I will do. So that's it. So I'll just go ahead and cut this into pieces. So these are the pieces we have for the front bustier. So the next thing we'll do now is to go ahead and draft the lower parts of this bustier, the Basque waistline. So now this is my line, that's my under bust, 1/2 inch joining allowance, and my waist. Then I added additional 4 inches. So now I'll be measuring my waist, my under bust measurement divided by 4, my waist measurement divided by 4, and I'll be adding my sewing allowance at this area. So from my under bust to my waist is what you have, and then I just added additional 4 inches. So that's what we have from that waistline downward, is my additional 4 inches. So now from my exact waist measurement, as you can see the point for the sewing allowance, I didn't take it beyond that point, so I'll just be connecting it downward to this lower part. I'll be connecting it downward to this lower part. So from that sewing allowance, after the sewing allowance, that's what I'm connecting to the lower part, like that. So because this Basque waistline is not a complete V, it still is a round shape, not a V shape. That's why. But if it's a V shape, this is how you will place your curve, and you just draw it directly. So now this is what I have. Then I'll be cutting it out. So after I'm done cutting, I will be joining some of these papers together to have just one pattern. So I'm just trying to arrange them to see how it will look. So this is how it will look like after joining and everything. So this should match with this. So that's what I'm trying to check, and I'm trying to join this side to this waistline. I want to have just a single body, a single piece. So I'll be trimming out the sewing allowance that I added initially. I'll be trimming that out. Then I'll be using my paper tape to just hold it down together. So as you can see, some still have the sewing allowance, like this one. Now I'll take note of that when I'm cutting my pattern. So I'll just use my paper tape now to join this together, so that whenever I want to cut this on my plain material, I'll just cut it as a single pattern. So I'll just cut it as a single pattern, as a single material, as a single fabric. So this is what I have here. So now the next thing we'll be drafting is the back bodice. So this is my back bodice. I've measured my armhole line, my waistline, and my shoulder line. So now before I continue, I will do the zipper allowance. From the video, it has a corset lacing, a corset loop lacing. So but I don't want a corset lacing, I want a zip. That's why I'm adding a zipper allowance. But you know that if you want to use a corset lace, you reduce your back bodice by 3 inches. So now I've measured my bust measurement at the armhole area, and I've added my sewing allowance. I've also measured my waist, added my dart allowance and my sewing allowance. So I've done that now, and I've extended my armhole. So now this back, it has a yoke, but before that, let's do our shoulder slope. So this is what we have. So now for my back yoke, I'll be using length of 7 inches. I'll be using the length of 7 inches, then I'll be rolling a line across that part. So after that, I'll measure my neck measurement, which is 3/4 inches. Then I'll just be connecting these downward. So you can do any style for this, but from the video, this is the style they use. So this is my yoke now. This is my yoke, and this is my back bodice. That's the zipper allowance area. Then the next thing I will be doing is just to pieces this pattern. I'll remove the part I want, and I will remove the part I don't want. So this is what I have. So now let's do our dart measurement. For this dart measurement, you just measure your nipple to nipple measurement plus ½ inch. Mine is 4 inches. That is 3.5 plus 1/2 inch. That's 4 inches. Then my dart height is 5.5 inches. So you just go ahead and do the normal dart, the regular dart. So this is what I have. So this is my back bodies, and these are my front bodies. So in the next tutorial, it will be on how to cut this, and also how to stitch, how to sew this, how to cut the fabric, and also how to sew them together. So if you are interested in that video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and also click on the bell icon so that you can get notified when I dropped the sewing video. So these are the fabric I will be joining together to achieve this style. So thank you so much for watching, if you watch up to this extent, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.